A very good morning to all of you and welcome to TIL Legal Tips. As we all know, real estate is the second major sector in India after agriculture and is expected to rise by 30% in the near future. However, the sector has experienced ups and downs in the past few decades. So, keeping this in mind, we are going to discuss this topic with an expert, our chief consultant at the Indian Lawyer and Allied Services.
Certainly, Sakshi. I think it's an excellent topic that you have chosen. So,
Thank you.
Please tell me.
Please tell our viewers that what is the scope and purpose of RERA Act?
Yes, the RERA Act, which is an acronym for the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, has been passed to regulate the real estate sector. Before this act was passed in 2016, it was the general laws that applied to the real estate sector. The government realized that there was an urgency in regulating the real estate sector, because of which the RERA Act was passed. So, in short, I would say the RERA Act regulates the mechanism of real estate development, sale, etc.
Okay, great, ma'am. Moving towards to our next question. So we just wanted to know who falls within the RERA Act.
I would say that the builder who is building the project and the home buyer who is buying the project, also the real estate agents who are selling the project would also fall within the ambit of the RERA Act.
Ma'am, earlier also we saw you dealt with RERA matters. So we just wanted to know why is the RERA Act important?
The RERA Act is important because of a few factors. First, I would say it brings transparency to the entire process of real estate sale and purchase. Secondly, the RERA Act demands that a builder who is building a project must open a special escrow account in which all the funds given by the buyers will be put, and those funds can only be used for the project and cannot be diverted for any other reason. Thirdly, I would say the RERA Act also protects home buyers, as home buyers know exactly what is the project all about, what are the features of the project, what they can expect, what are the timelines, etc. Another very important feature of this act is that it brings accountability. When I say accountability, I mean that the builder is accountable for any defaults made by him in doing the project. Also, the real estate agent would also be responsible if he did a missale or he tried to sell a project which is not the way it has been presented. Apart from that, I would say that there is a certain standardization that has been brought to the real estate sector by this particular act.
Okay, now my next question is related to the previous one as we are discussing on importance. So please tell us who has to register under RERA Act and where. And one more thing, why this registration is important.
The registration is important because it gives a legal recognition. Any type of registration gives a legal recognition. Now, the people who have to register under the RERA Act would be first the promoter who's building the project. Second would be the project which is being built. So all details have to be registered. And thirdly, the real estate agents who are going to sell the units in the project. Now, coming to the importance of registration. Now, registration is required for several reasons. I would say the most important is that when there is a registration, the promoter's details are all put on the website of the RERA authority. So all buyers know a fair amount of details about the builder, that is, what is his Aadhaar card, that's his identity, whether he's an income tax payee or not, what are his financial strengths, whether he has the eligibility or the experience of building such a project. So that is one thing that buyers can gain from. Secondly, I would say that apart from this, there will also be all project details as to what the project is all about, where will it be built, what are the units that will be there, what is the common area, what are the special features. So this details also the buyer can get. Apart from that, generally the land on which a project is built belongs to a third person who is the owner. So if you register under the RERA Act, what happens is the builder has to ensure that the owner's land is free from encumbrances and all taxes have been paid. Also, I would say that the registration with the RERA Act also ensures that the building plan is in place, that all no objection certificates that have to be procured from the water department, the fire department, the pollution board, the sewage board, it's all in place. Most importantly, the certificate for starting, or what is called as the commencement certificate, that has to be procured by the builder before he starts the project. Now, this is given by the local authorities. Also, another very important feature of registration is that there is a certain sale agreement, a format of a sale agreement that the builder has to make available to prospective buyers. Now, this I would say is a very important document because the buyer gets a chance to examine all his rights and liabilities. He also can go to a legal professional and understand if there are any clauses that would go against him. So, in that sense, he is adequately prepared for what is to come in the times to come.
Okay, ma'am. As you already discussed in detail, so apart from these, is there any additional duties which builders has when the project is going on?
Yes, if there are any changes or alterations done in the project, the builder has to inform the authority about these changes. He has to put it on the website or it has to be advertised on the RERA authority website. Secondly, if the builder fails to meet the deadlines or the completion period, if he's unable to deliver during the after the completion period or the agreed completion period, then in such a case, the builder is liable to refund to the buyer the amount of advances paid by the buyer along with interest.
Thank you, ma'am, for this basic information that will be useful for buyers to understand their rights. Is there any advice you want to give to our buyers?
Yes, I certainly would like to give some advice. I would, although the RERA Act has regulated the market to some extent, I will not say that the entire market is absolutely transparent. So I would advise all buyers who have put in their hard-earned money for these to buy a unit in these projects to do their due diligence very carefully. I would advise that they should find out as much as they can about the builder, see the other projects that he or she has built. Also, one should look at the fact that whether they are in litigation in any of the courts, especially if there are any litigations under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. If you are not careful, you can get into a lot of trouble. I would also advise that they should approach a lawyer with the document, the sale deed, to take proper legal guidance on what are their rights and duties. If this is done well in time, then I would say a stitch in time saves nine. So, having said that, I think we have imparted some basic information. This is, however, not to be deemed as legal advice. Each case is dealt in a different manner. And if you have any particular requirement, please approach us. If you have liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe so that we can make many more such videos in the interest of the public. Thank you and have a good day.